my little festive elf, Jules here. It's December. Now, you might be short of money or you might be short of ideas for something to give your special person in your life. But, and I've got a big but, I have the very thing to help you. Yes, I'm going to show you how to hand letter something that is going to save your bacon. In fact, you're going to have a choice of two. All you have to do is buy a frame that is going to fit an A4 piece of paper. I've used Crayola Super Tips, which are really easy to get hold of. Here in the UK you can buy them in supermarkets and they're really inexpensive. But basically, if you've got any kind of felt tip at all, that will do. And the thing about hand lettering is the more you practice, the better you will get at it, I promise you. You won't get any worse. But for today, I'm going to show you how to get a really cool effect without having all of those years of experience behind you. Have you ever held a pen before? Great, then you can do this. The only thing I would suggest is that you try and get hold of some smooth copier paper or marker paper. But if you don't have marker paper, then don't let this stop you doing it. Okay, let's crack on. First of all, what you're going to need is just some scrap copier paper, A4 size, and a pencil. There's just a couple of things that I want to say before we actually start on the final design. First thing you need to do is get yourself a pencil. I've used quite a soft pencil here. I think mine was a 6B. And a piece of regular copier paper, and map out where your design needs to go, and that includes all the flourishes down the bottom, the spacing. You can do it very lightly to start with to make sure you've got all your letters in the right place, and then go over it darker so that you can see it through. Now, one of the things you might notice is that in terms of my spacing on this page, you can see that that gap there between the edge there and the edge of the paper is actually a bit bigger than the other side. So when I put this piece underneath my final piece, I'm actually going to center it to where I think it needs to be, which is probably around about there. Now, I don't know if you can see that through the paper. I can. If you are having trouble, you can always put your pieces of paper up on the window. Make sure that you tape them separately so that you can move things around if you need to. It's also a good idea just to choose your colour scheme and get everything out that you're going to need. So here I've got these four colours. I've got a sort of pinky colour, although it doesn't really come out the same as that. You'll see in a minute. Dark purple, a lilac and a bright blue. And I've also got my Staedtler fine liners, pigment liners, and this is a 0.5, and I've also got my 0.2 graphic line maker, just in case. That's a Derwent, just in case I need it, although I'm not sure if I will. So I think I'm going to use the blue for the middle bit, and I'm going to use this lilac-y purple for the other words. The You Are and Amazing are going to be calligraphy, and I'm going to show you an easy way to do that, and then this bit is just going to be a standard upper caps font. Take your time over this bit. It's absolutely fine to go slow, as I've sped this up, so please don't think that this is as fast as I'm writing. But also make sure, if you want to, that you take your pen off the paper in between letters. So whilst that's drying, I'll tell you how I'm going to make this look like calligraphy, because at the moment it just looks like my handwriting, or kind of a curly version of my handwriting. When you are making your marks on the paper, you are either going to be going down or up, or sometimes across. On the downward strokes, you want to make that a bit thicker. So for example, on the U, I know that I went down here before I started going up, so on this downward stroke, I'm just going to make a little line there and then fill it in, like that. and then I went up again, and then down again. So again, I'm going to make a little line and fill it in. And then I went up, down, and so on.
By the way, you can join me on Fridays for drawing, planning and publishing videos. Just ding the bell when you subscribe, and then I'll let you know when I've uploaded something you might find useful. And if you thought this was useful, then spread the love by liking and sharing with your chums. And if you're interested in learning how to make your own children's books, then I'll leave the link in the description box, which will take you to the information on the programme that I have put together this year. Check it out, it might be helpful.
Because the word amazing is bigger physically than that one, I'm going to do thicker lines, which is going to make it more in proportion. And now to the middle section that says all kinds of. This font, if you can imagine, you've got your top line where the top of the letters are going to be, and the bottom line, and then normally you'd have your strokes across, like for example on a capital A would roughly be in the middle, but instead of that we're going to move them up so they're closer to the top. All of this is going to be in capital letters, so just remember anything that should normally be halfway down is closer to the top. And also the letters are quite narrow. Now I'm going to add a little bit more detail with my fine liner, so I am going to use my 0.2. I'm just going to draw some lines in this part of the banner, which it would be in shade. So that just gives us a little bit of texture, and then we will colour it once this is all dried. And then this is the pink I said doesn't really look like that colour. It's quite pale. I'm going to get some of that purple, the lilac-y one. A little sort of squidge in the middle, go back with the pink again and just work that into the paper a bit. With some fine liners you might find it's a good idea to actually do the fine liner at the end, because the ink or the alcohol that's inside these pens can sometimes make the fine liners start to bleed a little bit and you'll get a bit of smudging. But we're alright with this one. You might just have to experiment just a little bit with your one on a scrap piece of paper. And talking of paper, the paper I'm using here is marker paper, which means that the ink doesn't spread, it sits quite nicely on it. And I am just going to also bring in a pale grey here, just to give ourselves a little bit of shadow around the back. And then with my graphic fine liner, I think I am going to outline some of this. It doesn't have to be exactly where you've coloured though, because that gives it a little bit more character.